I appreciate you giving us the time today to talk a little bit. So, right now, obviously, everything going on, especially we're kind of business-wise in this economic dip. Um, how important do you think it is right now to either be investing, kind of doubling down on your company during this time, or maybe you should just be kind of weathering the storm and riding it out? What are your thoughts?
So it's kind of interesting, it's 2020, right? And our company lived through 2008 and 9. That was interesting, different time than this. This was very rapid. The decline of our economy was caused by a shutdown. I mean, everything just stopped. And in 2008 and 9, it was a little bit slower, but boy, it was a long time of decline. And, we're not done this one yet, so I can't pick which one I hate more. But they're both pretty tough. I think my mindset's different than when I was 2008 and 9, which I was 38 years old, 39 years old. And it was the first time I went through anything like that back in 2008 and 9. And I immediately got defensive. It was all about controlling cost. It was all about, making sure that financially we made it through, which is a good plan. But we experienced a large decline in revenue, and that caused job loss, and it caused us to take a step backward. My mindset is completely different now that I'm 49 years old, and I've been through these things. Back then I was fearful that it would ever come back, and I'm not fearful at all that this isn't coming back. Our economy is gonna come right back. I mean, some sectors might take longer, but and I'm not saying because it's different this time. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I lived through it the last time and it came back. It came back. So my mindset is completely different. I believe that we should advertise and market and grab more business right now so that we can make up for the revenue decline. And then when it comes back, we'll be just that much better. And we could actually have a year, this year, 2020, I believe that we will grow as a company, even though we have a small decline right now. Whereas in 2008 and 9, we declined in revenue. So.
Yeah, and so you kind of touched on it at the end there, it sounded like, and if you want to expand a little more, I'm sure people would love that, is, obviously different types of businesses, right? All different types of competitors, different workplaces, but what are there any, I guess I should first ask, kind of things that are universal that all companies or businesses can be doing to kind of help invest in themselves right now in this dip?
Well, I think what happens is people immediately cut the costs of things, which is a smart move with some expenses. But, how I feel about marketing, advertising, and sales, those are investments, not expenses in my mind. Even during normal times, I think of them as investments. And to cut those right now, I believe is actually a mistake. And I did that back in 2008 and 9. Now I believe in doubling down. I believe in investing more. Not only does it keep people gainfully employed, it builds your market share. Your company's actually going to, even if it's revenues, you just fight off the decline. When the market returns and everybody else comes back to utilize services again, you'll just grow and be that much bigger. So that's how I'm looking at it.
So, and with, we keep saying the word invest, and I think so many people instantly with something like that think of the stock market, right? And that has been another huge thing that's been going on, obviously, during all of this economic crisis. So why not go that route, right? And especially since that's such a thing on the news, why is it better to invest in yourself and your company and your business and your people, and not the stock market, which could be a great way to bounce back?
Yeah, well, the truth is that diversity in your investments is smart across the board. They talk about having, if you have too much risk in one asset class, that when there's a decline of that asset class, you get beat up pretty much financially. But I find it really interesting because I work with a lot of business owners, and a lot of them have a lot of personal wealth. And when something like this happens, and like what just happened in March, and now we're into April of 2020, most of those folks have gone real defensive on their businesses, but they've also gone real defensive on the stock market, and they've gone into cash after the decline. It would have been brilliant to go into cash a little bit earlier, but they went into cash after the decline. So now they might not partake in the rebound, right? So I kind of feel that's similar in your business. Like if you were risking when everything was going really well, you were advertising, you were building your business, and then boom, the decline happens. If you don't continue to advertise and market and do all those things, or invest in R&D in your business, or do the other things that transform the way you're giving services, if you don't do all that while it's now down, you don't get to partake in the big rebound for your own company. Now, the stock market, I mean, I invest in stocks and things like that. It's not that you shouldn't be involved with those things. It's that how could you possibly believe that it's a better investment to buy this stock of some company that you do not control, have no say in, maybe not even have a passion about? You're going to shove money into that and at the same time not invest in your business. That's what I find ironic. I believe that you should be thinking about, hey, where is my dollars best invested? And that if you believe in your company, you believe in your products, your services, and your people, that you should be investing in your business. Now, if you have enough money that you are investing, taking advantage of these times right now, and investing in your business, and you want to invest in other companies as well, I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. But to not invest in your own company is what I find to be really a bad decision, especially at this time.
And that, really well put at the end about, just choosing a random company essentially versus your own. And what does that kind of say overall? But so I guess what you started to get to, and I'm sure what everyone really is excited for and looking forward to, hopefully, is that new normal, right? And so during this dip, I guess the final thing it'd be great to touch on is doing all these things, investing in yourself, your company, doubling down right now during the dip. How will that help not only now to survive, but how does that help when we get back to that new normal? Or does it not? Is it just for surviving this time, or is it going to pay dividends, when we finally hit that surge again?
So I've always said that adversity and the things that have gone wrong in my own life with business, finances, all those different things, when I had to learn how to fight my way back out from whatever had happened and clawed our way back to success, you didn't forget what you learned. And the things that you did that got you back now get you way further. So no, I think that the things that you do right now will definitely parlay into the future. And the other thing I want to say is that, like, let's just take marketing, for instance. When everybody else got defensive and they pulled back, well, guess what? Everything's less expensive for you to take advantage of marketing. If there's less people buying marketing, buying advertising, Google pay-per-click, you can see it right there. There's less people advertising. It's an auction, right? And if there's less bidders, the cost goes down. So the cost to market right now is much less expensive, right? And there's also all kinds of other advantages. I have a friend that, is in the hotel business, and it's a really tough time for them right now. And, when things were high flying, which was just a little over a month ago, he was looking at maybe buying additional properties and things like that. And then boom, now everything's defensive. But in reality, it's probably the best time in the next maybe 20 years to invest again in real estate. Now, obviously, you got to wait for the prices to come down properly. But the point is to be a contrarian. It's usually the right move to do what other people are afraid to do what other people have decided I can't do right now. And that when things are all good, everybody seems like they're really smart. You could throw a dart at whatever initiative you're doing and succeed. But right now, being a contrarian is what I believe in.
That's some great insight. And Yeah, I mean that's really well said. So hopefully we all make it out a little stronger on the other side, and definitely learn from this time. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and hopefully next time we do it, we can do it in person.
Sounds good, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.